If you're new to the field and struggling with a part or all of it, remember no one had it easy. There's always something you won't know, and that will be a challenge. But you will overcome it if you persevere. And with time, it will become easier, at least a little bit. Well, I couldn't have thought of a better start for this video today. I'm sure a lot of you would be motivated after looking at the previous tweet that I just showed you. Without wasting any further time, let's get started with the actual content of the video. But wait, before I do that, it would be really motivating if you could click on the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to be notified for amazing videos that I'm about to create on data science and machine learning. Now, after you've done that, let's get started. Since you're watching this video, let me guess a couple of characteristics about you. Either you are a student or a fresh graduate who is trying to make the break in this data science slash machine learning industry. Some of you might be experienced professionals who are either software engineers or who come from a non-IT background and who are trying to transition into data science and machine learning. So this video would essentially help all of you to get your first job in data science and machine learning. Without wasting even a second now, let's get started. I'll start listing out things from the most difficult thing to the most easiest thing that you should do in order to get your first job in data science and machine learning. Let me start off by sharing across the most difficult thing that you should do in order to kickstart your journey in data science and machine learning. The first and foremost thing that you have to do is study. When I say study, what do you mean by studying? How do we start data science and machine learning? Well, to address this question, I've created a video. You can have a look in terms of what my course recommendations are and my book recommendations in order to start learning data science and machine learning. There are plenty of courses that I really like, and I've mentioned most of them in the video that I've just shared with you. You can also find the video in the description section of the video, so do have a look. But if I have to give out recommendation on how you should start learning data science and machine learning, then I would say start off with a very simple course, like just barely scratching the surface. Here I would recommend Introduction to Machine Learning, which is like a free course if you don't want like a certificate out of it. This is part of the Udacity's program, so you can have a look into that course. It is kind of like the structural course of machine learning that I feel a lot of you should start off with. Then you can go into fancy courses by Andrew Ng or Andrew Ng, however you pronounce it. Then there are some amazing courses on Coursera which not a lot of people recommend. That is a machine learning specialization by University of Washington. So there are tons of courses out there. There are tons of books out there. A lot of it is what I've compiled into this video. So do have a look. And if you've already crossed this stage, one humble request that I would have is lay more focus on your statistics. Lay a lot of focus in getting the understanding of algorithms really well. You should be crystal clear in terms of understanding algorithms, not just knowing them superficially by fitting a function and then creating a classifier out of it. You should know feature selection techniques. You should be well aware of different tests like an ANOVA test, a chi-square test. How would you better perform feature selection? What is principal component analysis? All the factors contribute to you understanding the whole model building phase really well. So this is my first advice, that you should start learning online. You should pick up different courses. You should go through different blogs in order to clear your concept. One course is never enough. All you have to do is you have to get every concept clear. Now, having laid emphasis on the machine learning and data science part, there are a lot of things that you should also try to learn as much as you can on your own. The first thing is SQL, which is your structured query language. A lot of companies also want you to extract data before you actually create models. So it's good to have decent amount of knowledge in SQL as well. You should also have some working knowledge in terms of creating a web application using Flask. This gives the organization a clear picture that the person whom they are interviewing is very keen on learning new technologies and adopting them in their workflow. So yes, there are requirements that are coming up that the person who creates models also goes on to deploy the models. It all depends on which organizations you work for. If you work in a startup, then you are responsible for the end-to-end journey of the whole model that you've created. So that is my next recommendation, that you should have good working knowledge of Flask. You may not be a champion in creating web applications, but it's good to know what web applications are, what is a JSON file. You should be comfortable with dealing with such files as well. The reason why I say this is a lot of infrastructure is created on Java. So there are a lot of Java based microservices which are interacting with each other in proper software development world. In order to communicate with such microservices, you basically make use of YAML files or JSON files. The JSON kind of travels between different microservices which are running. It is here that if you have to create a model prediction, which is through a web application, then all the communication would happen between different languages using the JSON file that is there. So it is very important to understand JSON. A good to have skill is web scraping. A lot of data is extracted through scraping because no one has all the data in house. So that is where your web scraping skills also come into action. Some amount of automation skills are also very handy. So yes, I'm laying down a lot of things in front of you, but that is why I've kind of mentioned that the hardest part comes in here. And then once we go down, we'll kind of have say simpler things that you should do in order to get your first job in data science and machine learning. Moving on to the second point, which is creating your own portfolio. With every passing day, organizations have become very selective in whom to hire and whom not to hire in this amazing field of data science and machine learning. In order to make the initial cut, what would differentiate you from the other person who's applying for a job is having a good portfolio behind your back. Essentially, what this does is it tells the organization that I've not only done the simpler projects or I've not only done the online courses that everyone does, but I also have a blog or I also have a YouTube channel wherein I'm trying to teach or wherein I'm trying to communicate my thoughts in form of a blog or in form of a video. So this gives the organization an idea that he's very good with communication, and expressing your ideas, expressing your results is an integral part of your job in data science and machine learning. So creating your own portfolio is a very important factor that not a lot of people consider while creating their own resume as well. So this is a very integral part of the job hunt going forward. So what you should do in order to create that appealing portfolio, you should start off by creating blogs. So what a lot of people are doing currently, it's something that you should avoid, which is copying and pasting directly from other sources. Essentially, creating your own portfolio shows the original work that you have done. Say, for example, if I consider a topic like principal component analysis, now this topic is essentially the same wherever you go. So the idea is, how do you express that you know this topic really well? If you can come up with, say, amazing visualizations, if you can talk about things which not a lot of blogs talk about in principal component analysis, that is how your blog would be differentiated from the others blog. So you can kind of create your own website, you can start publishing content, but make sure the content is something that you have created on your own. Yes, you can make use of say 10 different sources to understand a concept, but when you're about to deliver a concept, that is something that should be entirely yours. So think of it this way, that if you want to revise a concept again, say 7 or 8 months down the line, then essentially rather than going through 20, 30 blogs, you should open up your own blog and go through it. So this is one of the factors that why I create videos and post it on YouTube. So essentially, if I have to revise a concept like say random forest or a decision tree, I don't have to look up to any other content. I have to basically go through my own content and my own voice in order to revise the concept. So that's how I started creating content online. And this is something that you should also follow. Create content that you want to consume on your own, and you will start seeing dividends as you go forward. One thing that a lot of people do and they kind of fail is they start with a lot of enthusiasm, but say they don't find a lot of traction in the blog, so they kind of give up in between. So I totally understand everyone gets busy once they get their job and all of that, but it's a good practice to publish something once a month, once in 2 months, however your schedule allows you. But essentially, being active on your own portfolio gives an indication to the hiring manager that the person that we are about to interview has a very solid online presence in form of a Medium blog, in form of a YouTube channel, or in form of a GitHub blog that he's hosted online. All of these services are free of cost, so you don't have to pay money. I've created my own version of a GitHub blog that I've hosted using GitHub. I'm not paying any money for it. Rather, in the process of creating my own blog, I learned something or the other about JavaScript, about HTML. So that was a good learning experience for me as well, creating my own portfolio website. So that is what I would recommend. All of you should start focusing more on creating your own portfolio, creating or writing blogs, creating content that is not currently available. This is like a very big factor which I want to share right now, that a lot of content is, say, copy paste, which is not something that's gonna gain traction. If you can create your own unique content, with time you will start seeing traction to that blog or the video that you've created as well. So that is my second recommendation. Let's move on to the third point, that is creating your own custom projects. Say for example, I'm hiring for my organization. I have a team, I have a specific requirement, and I want to reach out to freshers and I want to give them a chance. I roll out an opportunity. I get around, say, 10,000 emails for a job application. Now, while going through the job applications, now imagine out of those 10,000 resumes that I've received, 9,000 of them have basically written the same old project, which is Titanic dataset as well as Iris dataset. Now, this becomes a very easy selection process for me, that I'll kind of remove all the 9,000 resumes which are there. Why does this happen? The reason being, it's the starting point which every data scientist kind of takes in order to proceed forward in their data science journey. What you do apart from that, given the amount of competition that exists now in this amazing field of data science and machine learning, what you do beyond the hello world projects is where your chances of being shortlisted in the next round comes in handy. So you can pick up different projects. If you like NLP, you can start off by creating your own chatbots and creating, say, demos out of it. You can then upload a demo on YouTube and share it across as a link. When you apply for a job, you can attach that link in the resume itself. Once you've been able to crack the first three pillars that I've just mentioned, now we will talk about the fourth point, which is creating a very impressive LinkedIn profile. Now, in a short span of time, LinkedIn is that social network which is widely used for people to communicate and reach out for different job opportunities. I have been very lucky enough to get jobs via LinkedIn. So essentially what happens is, a lot of recruiters go through your end-to-end LinkedIn profile, understand your, say, education, understand your projects, understand your overall strengths and weakness. That is how a lot of people can kind of reach out to you directly if you have the above three already checked in form of checkboxes. So if you have very clear concepts in data science and machine learning, if you have a very strong portfolio by writing blogs or creating videos, the third thing is, if you have your own custom made projects as well, if you can explain your projects that you've worked on in the LinkedIn section, as well as explain about the portfolios that you've created, I'm pretty sure a lot of hiring managers would reach out to you and you will have a discussion going forward as well. So make the most of the platform that you have readily available. Having a really good LinkedIn profile will surely help you crack that first job that you want in the field of data science and machine learning. Now, the next point, since we are going down the chain, it's kind of becoming easier provided you've cracked the above four things that I've just mentioned. So essentially what you can do next is start networking. I'm recording this video during the COVID-19 situation that we have in India currently. We still have the lockdown imposed. So essentially in these situations, there are a lot of online webinars which are happening. So it's a very good opportunity for you to network in that online webinar that is there. Understand where the industry is moving. So that's a good place where you can learn a lot of things by participating in a lot of webinars. If the forum allows you to ask questions, then you can directly ask questions to actual practitioners in the industry in terms of specific questions that you have for data science and machine learning career. You have an opportunity to enroll in such webinars free of cost. So make the most of it. Try to learn as much as you can. Try to network as much as you can. Try to understand where the industry is going, and then tweak around your own profile so that you can land up with your first job in data science and machine learning. Now that I've shared this networking piece with you, I kind of mentioned the first 4 or 5 points as well. But if you've done them really well, then what will happen is, because you have a strong portfolio and if you create really good quality content as well, because you are also active on LinkedIn, a lot of people will kind of reach out to you automatically. So rather than you having to apply to different organizations, if your content really stands out, if you are contributing to the open source environment as well, say if you're raising pull requests on TensorFlow as well, so essentially what will happen because of that is, companies would start automatically noticing you and they would automatically reach out to you via LinkedIn. So LinkedIn as a platform is very essential. your other points are also very essential. So make the most of the opportunity that is given to you. Study as much as you can, put in your bit of the effort as well, and I'm pretty sure if you've done the entire spectrum of things correctly, then if not today, if not tomorrow, if not in the next week, next month, I'm pretty sure you will have that breakout point in terms of finding a job in data science and machine learning. Yes, the journey is going to be difficult. It's not a very easy thing to crack. I'll be very brutally honest here. But yes, nothing is impossible. I'm pretty sure if you put in your bit of the effort in studying concepts, in understanding different technologies, creating your own portfolio, then creating different projects that are sellable in the market, then essentially, if not today, then I'm pretty sure you will find a dream job in the organization that you are hunting for. So my best wishes are with all of you who are watching this video, and I can only pray to the Almighty that all of you are successful enough in cracking your first data science and machine learning job. And I would be really happy if you can come back to this video and put in a comment that we've been able to crack our first data science and machine learning interview. So this is all that I had in terms of creating content around how you can land up with your first job in data science and machine learning. For people who are visiting my channel for the first time, I create videos on data science and machine learning. Feel free to explore the other videos that I've created on data science and machine learning concepts. And I hope you found this video informative. If you really like the content posted on my channel, it would be really great if you can click on the subscribe button. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching the video.